All right, so this week we are going to spend time talking about time management and procrastination. First off, sorry for the hat. I've been at softball basically all weekend and the hat's not coming off. So you'll have to deal with some dark eyes this week. Anyways, I know time management has been an issue that a lot of you have stated you need some assistance with. And I'm hoping that this week, both from the tips that I give you and the tips that you get from each other, that you gain some new ways of doing things, or new ways of going about your week or your day or whatever it might be. Okay? So first off, if I can get this to move forward, there we go. Time management is really your choice. You know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's really up to you how you choose to use that time. And so you really need to think about that. How do you go about your day? How do you go about your week? And are you making the best choices for yourself? Are you putting school as a top priority instead of doing something that, is not a priority right now? Are you making those hard choices to say to friends and family, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I have to study for an exam or get ready for the week or whatever it might be. So, are you sleeping in until 11 or 12, or are you getting up and getting on with your day? So think about that. Time management is your choice, and you decide how you're going to spend your time. Okay? All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is called the GRAB method. And this just makes it a little bit easier to think about and to remember. So the G stands for goal. We talked a lot about goal setting last week. And so to think about what is your goal within time management, and to think about starting small. You don't want to go full blown, I'm going to make all these changes, because then maybe it's not going to happen. And so just start with something small. Do one thing this week that you can change. Maybe it's getting up 20 minutes earlier, or maybe it's going to bed, a little bit earlier than what you have in the past. So, do something that's not going to be a drastic change in your world, but something that you can implement and, make it easy for yourself. And then do something else next week, and then do something the following week. So what is your personal time management goal? What is it that you need to get a hold of? The R stands for responsibilities. Everybody's life is different. My responsibilities are totally different from your responsibilities. And so what is it that you need to take into account as you're planning your own schedule? Are you helping with, small children, either siblings or your own kids? Do you help with grandparents? What is your work schedule like? Maybe you work more than one job. Are you an athlete? So those responsibilities are going to be different for each and every one of you. The next thing is to do an analysis. So to really take the time to look at, how do I spend my time, and am I doing that wisely? And that's going to be an assignment that you complete in the next week or so, to do an analysis of your own time to find out, am I doing things smart, or could I be doing things a little bit different? And then the B is for balance. It's really important that you have a balance, or else you're going to get burnt out. And so to make sure that you have time for fun, that you are balancing your responsibilities and your priorities with also going out and doing something for yourself, being with friends, being with family, not always saying no, those types of things. So you want to make sure that, you're not always go, go, go. All right. All right, so the master weekly schedule is something that you'll be creating this week for yourself. And I have an example I'll show you in just a second. But you want to start with your fixed time commitments. So a fixed time commitment is something that cannot be changed. And so first start with your class schedule. So if you go to class each and every week, you have in-person classes, those need to be set. My recommendation, and I made this recommendation to several of you who are new to online classes, is to have a set time for online classes. So just as if you would be in class 3 hours a week, you should plan to be in class for your online classes 3 hours a week. And when is that? You don't just do online classes when you feel like it. They should always be planned. So putting that on there. Your study time. So the Carnegie rule is for every hour you're in class, you should be spending 2 hours outside of class studying. So if you're in a 3-hour class, you should be studying for that class or doing homework or any type of research that you might have to do for 6 hours a week. So think about that. How many units are you in? Are you providing yourself with enough time to get your work done? It's always best to have it planned, and then you can always take it off if you don't need it that week. But it's better to start the week with that. What is your work schedule? Some of you have a very set work schedule. You know every week, the days that you work and the times. Others of you may work at a restaurant or a grocery store, something like that, where, it is not a set time. You find out your schedule 2 weeks in advance, and, you have to kind of work life around that. So think about that. What is your work schedule? What home responsibilities do you have? Think about your commute time. How far and long do you commute? Some of you ride the bus. Some of you maybe are coming from Marin or Cloverdale. And so thinking about your commute time and how you can be using that, but also planning for that. Okay, a lot of people don't plan for that. I'm very guilty of telling my husband I'll be home at a certain time, but I don't take into account even, almost 15 years later, I have to walk to my car. At the JC, you don't just park right outside your building. So your commute time. What's your morning routine? Some of you are up and out the door in, 20 minutes to half hour. Some of you, it takes 2 hours to get going. To do the full get up and get your face on and eat your breakfast and all that stuff. So what is your morning routine and thinking about that? Where do you spend your downtime? So, is that something that you can plan for, to really take care of yourself? For some of you, that might be that you're slower in the mornings. For others of you, it might be that you're slower at night and you want to just be vegging out and watching some television, and that's okay. And then what else do each of you have going on? So sports, church, social groups, whatever it might be, what does that look like for you? Okay, let me shut the PowerPoint down for just a second, and I'll show you an example. So here's a Master Weekly schedule that will be uploaded into Canvas so that you can see this. So this student's getting up at 7, getting ready and driving to school. They have class Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. They've got some study time in there. They have lunch planned, more study time. When they're working out in their free time, reviewing notes, and then they have their work schedule in red. So this particular one is color blocked, which I think makes it really nice. And you can look at doing something like that as well. And you can do it on the computer or you can do it by hand. Whatever's easiest for you is fine with me. Okay. Okay, we're going to go into that in just a second. So I'm going to stop this video here to keep it short and sweet, and then you can go on and learn about various ways to organize your time.